It's been kind of difficult to measure the success of the Gears 5 launch, given many of the people have picked up the game on Xbox Game Pass. However, there have been several rocky issues over the past week, mostly considering or encircling, of course, microtransactions. Not only have they increased the cost of the game's in-game currency, but they've rolled out some pretty ridiculous items, and they've liked to tweet calling gamers entitled. Here we go again. Now, Gears 5 physical sales, obviously the worst in franchise history, but these numbers are irrelevant nowadays. Most people are buying digital, and in particular, Gears 5 was out on Xbox Game Pass, so you could play the game for $1 on Game Pass. How Gears of War changed to become Xbox Game Pass's biggest launch. Gears 5 focus shifts from getting players in to keeping them. Well, yeah, because microtransactions, right? Once upon a time, Rod Ferguson, we'll get to him later, knew that if players would hurdle a $60 barrier to a AAA game, that there would be some breathing room for the developers on the other side. Every design choice they made wouldn't be the one to make or break a game. They could count on new players hanging in. The story caught them up on canon sprawling over a decade or more. Quote, if somebody puts $60 down, they have a sort of sunk cost idea. That even if they did have some road bumps along the way, or they're struggling to learn the game, or they don't quite understand what's going on, they're like, I'm determined to get my value out of this. Ironic coming from somebody who's pushing some of the most ridiculous microtransactions to date. Gears 5 launched on Xbox Game Pass at the beginning of the month inverted Ferguson's concerns somewhat. The Coalition, the studio Ferguson leads, wasn't going to wait for an audience. They'll probably get the biggest one of any Gears has ever gotten. The game is, effectively speaking, free with Game Pass subscription. So how would Ferguson's team keep huge tranches of the Game Pass players engaged, especially when they could tap out and play any number of practically free games without considering Gears 5 a pile of shame sacrifice? We had to go in it with the idea like, how can we make this, quote, dash, even though it's got a 5 on the end of the title, how do we make this the most approachable Gears game ever? Well, by cramming in a bunch of microtransactions and calling your customers entitled, of course. That's right, just 2 days ago, the price of iron went up in Gears 5, which is a very, very, very big mistake. One that probably, they're taking the liberty. I think they're viewing it that, well, people got on Xbox Game Pass, so they're viewing it as free to play, so we have a lot more room with microtransactions. The problem is not everybody has Xbox. A large group of people don't have the game for $1. A large group of people have paid $60 for the title. I don't like this new, well, you only paid $1 for it, so therefore we can be really crummy and skeezy. If you logged into Gears 5 last night, this is just from 2 days ago, you might have noticed a big surprise. The price of iron went up. Iron, which is the premium currency you can buy with real-world money spent in Gears 5 cosmetics, such as character skins. At launch, 500 iron cost €4. 1,000 iron cost 7, and 2250 cost 15. Then yesterday, these prices went up without explanation from Microsoft or Developer Coalition. 500 now costs 425, iron costs 850, and 2250 costs 1650. We could call that probably a 10% bump, roughly. What happened? Blame Brexit? Well, it turns out there was an issue with previous pricing, and it had to be adjusted in regions outside of the US and the UK. The problem was the Coalition had no idea the change was being made, so it didn't warn players beforehand. So we've been seeking out answers this morning. We don't actually control the Microsoft Store conversion rates of iron, and it appears it was done due to some conversion rates being off, the Coalition post said on the subreddit. Iron costs $5, and the price changes have aligned to the actual conversion rate, apparently. Well, okay, it was a mistake. Your customers aren't going to view it that way. Your customers are going to be mad. Now, yesterday, Gears 5 boss responds to microtransaction concerns. Now, I want to point out before I get into his reply, here is a tweet that was liked by Rod Ferguson, which is the head of the studio. Quote, I like Gears of War and I love Gears 5, But honestly, I'm so incredibly sick and tired of seeing all these people complain about Gears. This community is filled with toxic, entitled gamers who cry like children. To those people, F off, enjoy the game. Written like a true fanboy. Now, I get that there's a reasonable amount of complaining that you can do. And look, you could always just not play the game. But now we've given Ultra fans this get out of jail free card by saying, well, it's on Xbox Game Pass, so therefore you can't complain about it. You can't critique it reasonably. And that's ridiculous because some of the microtransactions in this game are egregious. Now, yes, here's the thing. As long as they're not pay to win, which they don't appear to be, they're okay, right? If you're asking me my genuine general opinion on these microtransactions, they're not required. They can exist. That doesn't mean we can't talk about how ridiculously they're priced and how stupid it is to price them as such, but they must know. They must know that basically these things only appeal to people who don't care about price. Now, they addressed concerns. Microtransactions concerned, quote, there is no magic wand here. Microsoft's newest big-time exclusive, Gears 5, released in September and enjoyed a record-breaking release. However, not everyone is happy with the game, and some voicing concerns over microtransactions and in-game economy. Now the head of the Gears 5 studio, the Coalition, has responded. Responding to someone who voiced concerns about the prices of items and the grinding it takes to earn them without spending money, Ferguson said the in-game economy is a, quote, work in progress. I never buy this excuse. This is the same bologna sausage that Anthem talked about. You know exactly what the in-game economy is. You have entire departments dedicated to making it just grindy enough, like one step back from too grindy to entice people to make purchases. We know how you work. Stop lying. Gears 5 has a, quote, completely different economy compared to Gears 4 because of the new game. Gives it away as DLC maps and more for free. Quote, we're learning as we go, he said. This is a completely different economy from Gears 4, removed gear packs, so it will take a little time to work through issues. Our first attempt is not our last, and we will continue to evolve to get it right. Meaning, we have to figure out how far we can push you, the customer, first, and then we'll see how much we can get away with. In another tweet, Ferguson said Gears 5 offers, quote, way more free content than Gears 4. This is a common deflection, and it is not a reasonable reason. This is the, well, we're giving you so much stuff for free, so don't complain about the microtransactions. That's what this is. It is baloney. It is not a fair rebuttal to egregiously priced skins and things like that. It's just not. Another tweet, and the developer is planning to release even more free extra content down the road. It's not free. You've paid for it, by the way. Some of the upcoming free DLC will include more maps, characters, and skins. Quote, we're learning and improving as we go. There's no magic wand here. Even small changes take time to create, and content, design skills, and ultimates. Gears 5 in-game virtual currency is called Iron. The players can buy it in various allotments without corresponding prices. The Iron can be spent on things like XP boosts, world flags for player cards, weapon skins, emotes, marks, executions, and more. Gears 5 adopts a Fortnite-style rotating system where certain items are only available for a limited time, of course, because that adds a element of fear of missing out, FOMO, a classic marketing skill, which in turn encourages players to buy the content before it leaves the store. And you can see the Gears subreddit is already watching this when Rod Ferguson likes a tweet calling us all this for being honest about the game. Not a good look. Here's the article on Eurogamer. Coalition boss Rod Ferguson has addressed concern. There's nothing in Gears 5 First Battle Pass. This is, by the way, Eurogamer's review of the First Battle Pass. There's nothing in Gears 5 First Battle Pass worth writing home about. The character skins are lifted from the campaign, which is deplorable, by the way. No one notices your banner in the heat of battle. No one has time to stop and gawk at blood spray, some of which are truly bizarre. Hardly anyone emotes. None of the executions float my boat, and the final Battle Pass ward is a flashy Nasher skin. This is similar to Apex Legends' first swipe at the Battle Pass. They couldn't really figure out what people would want. The issue was exacerbated recently when the delivery driver Max skin went up for sale for 1,000 iron. which is about 10 bucks, I think, a little more than 10 bucks, 850 euro, following a recent iron price increase in the UK. And these emotes go on sale for 800 iron. That's not all. While Gear 5 went to a battle pass system instead of loot boxes, plans to release new maps, characters, and skins, and restricts microtransactions to cosmetic only, except for some potential point boosts. XP boosts, I don't really care about, to be honest with you. I don't consider them quote-unquote cosmetic only, but I don't know. I don't like to cheat myself out of enjoying the game. That's just me. But if somebody wants to get to top level faster, it's just like when World of Warcraft rolled that out. It wasn't for me, but if people want to do it, I mean, I don't really care. It's fine. Ferguson took to Twitter to address a concern, pointing out the coalition had created a completely different economy for Gears 5 and insisting that the developers will learn from feedback and work through things over time. I don't think so. One of the chief issues, I think, is Gears 5 feels light on cool things to unlock and characters to play, as in various multiplayer modes at launch because of the way the Battle Pass works. Well, I mean, other than that, most people are saying the game is decent. They're enjoying it. The Microsoft Battle Pass is an excellent system, but it doesn't exactly feel as valuable when they're going to bake in all these microtransactions and Battle Pass systems to essentially make the game like free to play. And also, it really does make the people feel like total trash who paid full price for the game, I imagine. Maybe that was their intent, but this is a very real outcome of it. We're going to have to keep an eye on what Gearbox says, and also liking this tweet, Rod, is not a good look. Calling gamers toxic and entitled, I don't like that. That's not a good look, and this isn't going to go over well with your community. You're obviously welcome to say whatever it is that you like. I'm not one of those people that say, hey, you can't say this, but you shouldn't say this because this is a word that the gaming community is especially sensitive to, and it's just not good business. It's not a good thing to do. It's not good to lump all of your community together. It's not good to lump genuine criticism of your game as complaining or entitled. This is a way to brush everything aside and to silence critics of the game, and that's not acceptable. And Rod, this probably isn't going to look good for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Above, you'll find some links to watch more videos, as well as a nice big button to subscribe, which I hope you'll do. If you did enjoy it, make sure before you go that you leave a like and a comment on the video, because you are the #1 reason this channel continues to grow, and I appreciate you.